let me know when the voices arise from the storm in the morning light. You can find me below.
What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Ovatyme Sports Show, starring Big Sam and the homie Hollywood J Black. Good morning, fam. Long time no see.
Good morning, sir. After a week and a half of working an early ass fucking convention, my job fucking with my schedule and my money. We back, bitches. That's right. We fucking back. No fucking excuses. We about to hop right on this shit. The boy Bruno, first nigga on the shit, said, "What's happening, nigga? What's happening, Bruno? What's good, my dude?"
Yo.
Yeah, you supposed to be calling me, supposed to be walking and shit, nigga. We supposed to be doing this shit. Better hit my ass up. I'm ready to roll. God damn it. Shit. Yeah. So, how was your weekend, sir?
Well, had to work yesterday, but other than that, good.
That's good. Well, we have so much that has gone on since the last time we spoke. We really need to have a conversation.
Well, yes, because we've crowned a couple of champions. One probably more deserving than the other.
That depends on your perspective, because I don't feel that Washington deserves shit. But you know, as they cheated and beat it themselves.
I'm going to just say it right now. I'm glad this Alex Ovechkin finally won one, and he's partying with the Stanley Cup only like a Russian hitman could do.
Yeah, of course, right?
But that ain't the first topic of conversation. We'll get that in that part. Let's talk about what everybody knew was going to happen when the NBA Finals started, and that is the Golden State Warriors laying the smacketh down on Cleveland Cavaliers' candy asses, and unfortunately, the only people who Cleveland has to blame for getting swept is J.R. Smith and his drunk high ass getting an offensive rebound and going the opposite way.
I know, right? You pick it up and you lay it up. Do fucking something. Jesus. All right, hold on real quick. We got comments. Boy Bruno said he was supposed to return to work and I stayed home, which is probably for the best because they would have probably transferred you to Apple once you got there. And happy Padres Day. Yes, happy late Padres Day to you too, sir. Yes, let's talk about this NBA Finals fallout. Bruh.
Now, anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about. The Cleveland Cavaliers had game one in the bag. They played way above their expectation, anybody's expectation in game one. George Hill went to the free throw line, tied it up. I mean, it's also his fault, too, because he missed the second free throw to give him the lead.
Yes.
But J.R. Smith, I think that is okay, because what J.R. Smith did was probably the stupidest shit I have ever seen.
Hold on, wait a minute.
David Arquette did not. J.R. Smith, his actions to the Cavaliers is what David Arquette's actions were to WCW.
What we thought they were.
Hold on. Here we go. I think Dennis Green wants to chime in on this one as well, sir. Hold on.
Oh, I got to argue with that guy again?
He said he wants to talk about this. I mean, it's really important that he expresses how he feels about this situation. Dennis, sir, what's going on? What's going on, buddy? You okay, guy? Everything all right? He showed up. He's here, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis fucking Green is here. What the fuck does he have to say?
Bears what we thought they were. What we thought they were. We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in preseason?
Unfortunately, I can't hear it.
Hold on.
We played them in the third game. Everybody played three quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were.
Okay, Dennis. We've had this talk before, my dude. We are not talking about the Bears. Why do you keep bringing football into my NBA talk? Dennis, get your ass out of here. Go. Go home, you're dead.
Oh, beautiful. It's always beautiful when Dennis Green shows up to a show, ladies and gentlemen.
So as I said, J.R. Smith's actions were only equaled by David Arquette winning the WCW World Heavyweight title.
Oh, shit. Oh, whoo. At least David Arquette won something. Oh. I was equating this to the Chris Webber timeout blunder of 1993, 94. I think it was 94, right?
No, because here's the problem, too. You clearly see LeBron James at the end of the fourth quarter ask Tyronn Lue, don't we have any timeouts? And Tyronn Lue's like, yeah. Why the fuck didn't you call one, you silly bastard? You had the ball, call a fucking timeout, draw a play.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Or fuck, just put it up or something. I mean, something. Jesus. Give it to LeBron.
All JR had to do was put it up. He probably would have got fouled.
Yeah.
But no. Captain Hennessy had to be like, oh, I thought we were winning. Sorry. I thought we were winning.
Anything's possible, my friend. Anything is possible.
When that happened, you know what I did? I turned off the game because I knew for a fifth quarter the Cavaliers didn't have it in them.
Well, here's the messed up part about it. The Cavaliers were steady rotating the same 8 or 9 dudes in and out of the game. If niggas was tired, because keep in mind, the Cavaliers didn't score a point until it was a minute and a half left in the overtime. Because keep in mind, for everybody that don't know, that overtime is a 5-minute period. So why, for the love of God, so they've been kind of sour on Rodney Hood. Why don't you throw Rodney Hood out there? If your niggas is tired and then niggas can't go a fifth quarter, throw Rodney Hood out there. He's played the Golden State Warriors 3-4 times a year when he was in Utah. He knows what to expect. It's cool. What about Kyle Korver? You need fucking shooters out there. It's cool. It's cool.
Well, Kyle Korver was 1 for 19 in the series, so there's a reason they didn't put his ass back out there.
He could have helped. Shit. Better than not even fucking trying. Shit. That's exactly what happened with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's really what I want to get on to. Game 3, they were close again. I think they were up by 20, right? Were they up by 20?
They were up by 17.
They were up by 17, and they end up losing by 10. And it's all because of that third quarter, the deadly third quarter that the Golden State Warriors are known for. They know what to expect in this third quarter. They know that the Warriors are going to come out firing after resting for 20, 30 minutes in the locker room. This isn't not known news. This isn't some kind of fucking state secret. They know what to expect. I know what to expect. We've been doing this sports thing for a while. You've known what to expect in the third quarter from the Golden State Warriors. It's kind of like saying that Jason Kidd isn't going to manage a game when it comes crunch time. That's literally what they're saying. We don't expect Jason Kidd to manage a game. Really? And that's exactly why the New Jersey Nets made the finals 2 years in a row, because when it came crunch time, Jason Kidd was the best player on the court. Am I right?
You are right, but Jason Kidd, unlike LeBron James, actually had reliable people around him. See, Kenyon Martin, if Kenyon Martin would have went up and got that offensive rebound, he would have went right back up with it. Keith Van Horn.
Oh, no.
Van Horn was smart enough to go right back up with it.
Oh, I know. But that's the thing, and that's what happens. That's team building. Who was your guys' coach? Was it Byron Scott, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, but he was the proven coach right there because he was an assistant forever. And plus, he was on a successful Lakers team. What the fuck has Tyronn Lue done except get stepped over by Allen Iverson and luckily win a championship that year? That's the motherfucking question I got.
You know what Tyronn Lue did?
What?
He let LeBron James call everything until it mattered. Until it mattered.
And then game 4.
when it mattered, Tyronn Lue decided he wanted to be a coach and fucked everything up.
Yep. Game 4. And Game 4, I happen to agree with the sentiment that Stephen A. Smith said, that I feel that the Cleveland Cavaliers gave up on that game. Because once they said they knew what was going on, even Grandma knew it. Yes, Grandma knew it, Granddaddy knew it. Everybody on that squad knew it.
Now, let me just say this, too. Kevin Durant stepped the fuck up. Because in Game 1, it looked like he didn't want none of LeBron James.
Nope.
Games 2, 3, and 4, LeBron James looked like he didn't want none of Kevin Durant.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, the skill set that Kevin Durant has, he's long, he's lanky, skinny, he has endurance. He can shoot from fucking anywhere. And he's adapted Steph Curry's ability to almost be able to shoot from fucking anywhere.
I still question why he didn't just post up every time, because every time down the court he had a guy who was 7 inches shorter than him on him. But
which is weird. All right, so this is the thing. So Steph Curry was on LeBron majority of the time, right? And it's not like Steph Curry is this defensive genius, but he's buggy. He's buggy. He's he's like Muggsy Bogues. If you keep his eye off of him, he's gonna steal from you. Just like a hood cat, you take his eye off him for a minute, he's gonna steal.
That's because Muggsy Bogues was like literally up to somebody's kneecap. So
my mom was only 2 inches shorter than Muggsy Bogues, and that tells you everything that you need to know about Muggsy Bogues. Anyways, but the point I'm trying to say is that LeBron could have bullied anybody in that game and could have easily went off for 50, 60 points in any one of those games. He could have went off for 50. I think he had like 40 in the first game.
He had 41 in the first game.
But he could have went off for 50 because there's nobody that's going to be able to guard LeBron James.
I know, that's the funny part. LeBron could have probably averaged 55 points a game during the finals if he wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was basically he averaged 40, 45 in the Boston series. He was averaging 40 in the Toronto series. He was averaging 40, almost 40 in the Indiana series. And then he comes into Golden State, and Golden State he was only barely averaging 28, 29.
Because he wanted to try and trust his teammates. He knew he needed his teammates to get into a groove in order to beat this team.
Yeah, but that's not how they got into the dance.
I understand that. But when it's 4-on-1, sometimes you need to call your boys, and hopefully your boys got your back.
Well, nigga went city to city 4-on-1 and beating everybody's asses. You know what I'm saying? He went 5 niggas. This nigga was taking on whole teams. Nigga, he took on the whole squad in Indiana. The whole fucking squad. 12-on-1.
And he beat Toronto by himself. I know.
Dude, have you seen Game of Zones? Did you see the last episode where the nigga posed as Drake and it was really LeBron? That's how he did them niggas.
All right, so congratulations to your Golden State Warriors for winning the championship.
Yes, thank you.
3 of the last 4.
Yes. I'm so proud. The road's going to get tougher, though, because now we got to talk about the next situation, which is LeBron's decision 2.0.
So somebody in ESPN brought up an interesting point today.
Yes.
That if Dan Gilbert actually shuts the fuck up and stops talking shit about LeBron, they have a chance to bring Kawhi, Paul George to Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah.
To join LeBron.
Yeah. And this is probably the best time to do it because they don't have the Timothy Mozgov contract. That's gone.
Yeah, my Brooklyn Nets have that contract.
Yeah. So if they can find a way to get rid of Love, if they get rid of Love for a playoff, if they can trade Love for a draft pick on a contender, so a team that made the playoffs that needs a power forward, right, or center, a team like Toronto, for example,
Like Houston?
Or Houston, that can eat that contract just for the draft pick, just because they, because it's gonna be a lower end draft pick, late first rounder. If they can pull that off, then they could conceivably get Paul George and CP3 or Kawhi Leonard. You could actually end up, if they make the right moves. I mean, and that's really basing it that they're as good as the GM for the Golden Knights, which we'll talk about in a second. But conceivably, they could get rid of the albatrosses of contracts. Because the Rodney Hood contract is the albatross because he's almost on the max. We already talked about Kevin Love. Who else? I think when they waived Derrick Rose, right? Or did they trade Derrick Rose? I think they waived him.
They waived him, but remember, Minnesota picked him up.
Yeah, that's true. So, but it's still, they would still have to pay him. They didn't amnesty him. So, if they get rid of enough contracts, the Love contract, the Hood contract, even find a way to dispose of J.R. Smith. If they can get rid of those albatrosses of contracts, negotiate with Paul George to take a low deal so they can sign him to the max next year, I think that they can really sign all four players. I know that CP3 he's a free agent. Well, he can opt into his last year, which depending on how this went, does he want to do another speed run with D'Antoni? I don't know. Because I
don't think CP3 is going anywhere. Him and Harden, yeah, they had their personality issues with each other.
Yeah.
But I think they both see what they could possibly do if they're both on the same page. And let's be honest, if CP3 would have played either Game 6 or Game 7, Houston would have beat Golden State.
True. Well, I don't know. But that's saying if Iguodala would have played, then that series would have been over because that was their defense. Iguodala was their defense. Iguodala was the reason why Golden State was able to stop from running. So, I mean, we're hypotheticals aside, at the end of the day, Golden State at full strength is the most dangerous team in the NBA, followed by the Houston Rockets. And I don't think, and I think that's what it comes down to. Even Boston is not as scary as Houston and Golden State, just because
you give Boston 4 years, then they'll be scary. Right now, they're too fucking young to scare anybody.
Well, think about this. Irving and we saw Irving and Gordon Hayward play together for 8 minutes, and they were unstoppable against Cleveland.
Oh wow, 8 minutes! Oh my God, stop the presses.
But I'm saying though, this is what I'm saying. Like, we know what kind of person Gordon Hayward is capable of being. So now we have a squad. A squad, you can run a small ball squad with Irving, Brown, Hayward. Who's the other dude? The light-skinned dude. Oh God, I forgot his name. So bad. The light-skinned brother that took over for Hayward, the rookie, and then Horford.
Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum. That fucking squad right there by itself is so fucking dangerous, like you wouldn't believe. And then you have Rozier coming off the bench. But I tell you what I'm excited for with that Boston squad is, I mean, I really want to see how they mesh, but they have enough assets to make to like disrupt the entire NBA this offseason.
Well, what people gotta think about too is Kyrie Irving still hasn't signed that long-term deal.
Nope,
he can leave.
Yep, he's in the last year of the contract. He can last year of his contract is not even at a max deal. Which he qualifies for max.
With his injuries, is he worth a max deal?
Well, he qualifies for it. He's played. He was all defensive. Well, yeah, I would pay Kyrie Irving that money.
I wouldn't. He hasn't played a full season since he started in the NBA.
True, but I'd still pay him the money. Let me tell you why.
Why waste your money? Okay, why waste your money on a guy who's almost as fragile as Derrick Rose?
Because he's not. He doesn't have the long-term effects like Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, if he gets injured, could be out for like 2 years. You know.
I can't play today. I got a crack ass.
I mean, at least if Boston gave Kyrie the same treatment that Philly gave Joel Embiid, he'd never be injured.
Now let's talk about that team right there, the 76ers squad.
Yeah.
What if they pulled the rabbit out of the hat and pulled LeBron James over there?
They would still. The one thing that Philly lacks.
They'd be in finals.
True, but they would lack the because Ben Simmons is not as good as I think you'd have the same problem. Ben Simmons is not as good as Steph Curry.
Ben Simmons needs to quit fucking Instagram bitches and actually learn how to shoot.
True. And I think we end up back in the same problem because once you get past Simmons and Embiid, who else? And let's say if you did LeBron, Simmons, Embiid, LeBron, who else is going to carry that team? That's the problem. I mean, and then I think that's in the East, outside of Boston, there's nobody else. Like the only team that would say that would come close with the kind of talent that they have is Toronto, because you'd have DeRozan and you'd have let's say you did this. Let's say you have DeRozan, LeBron, and Kyle Lowry, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Ibaka, and then you have Valanciunas, and conceivably, I think two players after that, and that's it. Everybody in the East is about 7 players deep at the most, and they still can't compete with Golden State. And they can't compete with Houston.
Look at my face. That's because Braun Strowman killed Kevin Owens.
That's true.
Did you see what happened?
No, I saw highlights. I gotta check it out.
He threw him off a 20-foot ladder through a table by the stage.
Oh, geez. Oh, Bruno says fuck Boston, and we agree, sir. I agree. It's fuck Boston. That's not the point. Houston conceivably, to me, would be the only place that he can go that he doesn't necessarily have to do a lot of work. But is he going to be able to run? Because he's never had to run like that in his career. Are they going to be able to run with the D'Antoni style? Is he going to be able to do that for 82 plus?
The good thing about the D'Antoni style that would help out LeBron is he don't have to play defense.
That's true.
There's nobody in Houston plays defense.
That's true. Well, except Chris Paul. I mean, that's the only. But he was still oddly enough, there was an all NBA defensive player on a Mike D'Antoni team, and his name was Chris Paul. Fuck me, right? For the first time ever, there was an all defensive player on a Mike D'Antoni team. So LA as everybody knows, seemingly the most intriguing option because not only do they have the most cap space, they have assets. They have young assets to do any kind of trade, which sucks because it's like the Lakers could be a decent 8th seed because remember the Lakers were the best team. I think the 5th or 6th best team in the NBA while Lonzo Ball was playing. I mean, it's not saying much, but it's team building, right? I mean, the Warriors went from being one of the worst teams in the NBA to being the NBA champions off of team building, and that was even before they got Kevin Durant. LA wants to go the route where they just bring all the free agents. This seems like the New York Yankees, bro.
This is what LA does, though.
I know.
They've done it this, since the beginning of time.
Yeah, but you think it's going to work this time around? LeBron, Paul George, and they have enough assets to get Kawhi?
Okay, here's what people need to realize. As long as this Warriors team is together, LeBron is not going to go to the Western Conference.
True, because here's the scenario I keep thinking of. What if LeBron, right? He builds this Lakers team, builds it completely. They beat the Warriors. They beat Houston, and end up still losing to the Boston Celtics. Because let's be honest for a second. And I know it's fuck Boston, right? Everybody's in fuck Boston mode. But I want to have an honest conversation. Boston is the best defensive team in the NBA.
And they couldn't beat LeBron James.
Not a lot of people could because they didn't have enough offense to do it. Also, they can't win on the road. That's kind of a
They lost Game 7 at home.
We knew that it was going to happen, though. Because you lose enough games at home and you gave this nigga LeBron a chance, he going to come around and fuck y'all in the ass. And that's exactly what happened.
Which is what I told you, and you're like, no. Boston going to win this time. No.
Well,
no.
They were supposed to.
Hold on. Then after the Game 7, you retracted, you reneged on your statement. It was like, yeah, I knew the Cavs was going to win.
No, in Game 5, when I saw the Boston barely win Game 5, I thought to myself, this is what the NBA wants. 2 Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals. They want this. I said, 2 Game 7 Conference Finals. I said Cleveland was going to win. They're going to win the last 2. And I also said that Golden State was going to win the last 2 because they really, really want this. They really, really, they've been hyping this up. This is what they wanted. And they got it. So, yeah, there's that.
All right, we spent now 20 minutes on the NBA. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is the NHL Stanley Cup Finals.
Yes.
As I said earlier, the Las Vegas Golden Knights did not finish the job. They got their asses kicked by Washington in 4 straight games. Washington was the superior team. It's great to see Alex Ovechkin, who, if you want to do comparisons to other sports, was the Peyton Manning to Sidney Crosby's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Ovechkin in the league for 15 years with the same team, finally won a championship with the team that he started on. And he is partying like a rock star right now.
Very true. And I don't want to take anything away from Washington's victory. I think it was more so. See, when people start talking about strategy, right? And people start talking about why a team is so successful, you then go into what can we do to counteract what makes this team successful and make them unsuccessful. What were they talking about all year? Why Vegas was so good? That their speed, and then their third and fourth lines was always seemingly better than the other team's third and fourth lines.
And Washington's third and fourth line are just as good as Vegas's.
Yeah, and oddly enough, in the season, Vegas swept Washington.
Yeah.
So they had a chance to learn. And I think that's what ended up happening. Washington put the brakes on Vegas third and fourth lines. Even though they had the speed, they didn't give them the opportunity. They literally held them to their side of the ice. The entire games, like those entire other games, outside the few scoring opportunities that they had. Remember, the Vegas led the league in scoring opportunities. And they didn't get a chance to even get barely any of those in games 2, 3, 4, 2 and 3, and they did enough in 4, but they didn't get enough of chances in 5.
Well, the series changed when the Capitals goalie stopped that wide open goal in game 2.
Yep.
That's when the series changed. That's when Washington was like, hold on. We could beat these guys. And Braun Strowman is now your monster in the bank.
Monster in the bank.
And here's the problem. Okay, I'm going to break into wrestling real quick. Here's the problem with this. Brock Lesnar only wrestles 3 times a year. When the hell is Braun Strowman going to cash in the Money in the Bank?
Braun Strowman's going to drag a referee, go to his house, and beat his ass.
I'm not finished with you.
Last man standing. He's going to throw this nigga in the lake. That way you can't say Brock Lesnar wasn't pinned. He was thrown in the lake, and he couldn't answer the 10 count. Anyway.
But no. No, congrats to the Washington Capitals and their fans. Long time coming. One of the older franchises who hasn't won a Stanley Cup until this year.
Yep.
But we all just got to sit here and thank the Golden for Vegas side of things. Thank the Golden Knights for everything they did for this city after the tragic events of 10-1.
Yes. So let's ask. We got to ask the $1 million question because I do want to talk about Vegas. And what they did this year was unprecedented from a franchise standpoint, from a business standpoint, and on the ice. They put together one of probably the greatest seasons of the greatest season of an expansion team ever. So then my question to you, sir, has Vegas changed the NHL?
I've said this probably 3/4 of the way through the season that we have another expansion team coming to the NHL with the Seattle squad.
Yep.
If they do anything but make it to the Stanley Cup, make it to the playoffs, it'll be a disappointment.
True.
Because Vegas showed that with all these pieces that nobody wanted, they are a legit threat to win a championship.
Yeah.
Now, as far as changing the NFL, yes. The NHL, yes. The reason is because what the Golden Knights did for the NHL this time was get, during the Stanley Cup Finals, was show the national audience, nationally, that hockey is fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That hockey is not boring. Hockey is worth watching. And I really think after next year when the exclusivity deal with the NBC is up, I think NHL will go ahead and move on to CBS so they can actually air more of their games on regular TV, not just NBC Sports.
True. On top of that, I think they changed the way how you build a franchise. I think they've changed the way how you coach. I think from a business standpoint, you don't have to get stars to win a championship. We sat here and we watched Washington and Vegas just eliminate stars out of the playoffs like it was nothing. Vegas especially. Like, they went through the season making teams look stupid. We got these guys that are in our first and our second line. But if you couldn't compete with Vegas' third and fourth line, you weren't doing shit.
No.
And that's exactly what happened. Vegas was out here making teams look silly. Over and over again. Like I said, it was the business practices of their GM. Their head coach knew exactly who to put on the ice at the right time. I think that we have what I like to call the Belichick effect, right? Where you don't need a huge superstar to win. You just need a really, really good team. Unfortunately, of course, Washington was the better team because they knew how to play Vegas after playing them twice and losing twice and then having a bunch of film to watch them on.
And not only that, they also have a guy who's probably the best shooter in NHL history, Alex Ovechkin, who is just a fucking sniper.
Yeah. But the best thing is that Vegas didn't have to play Alex Ovechkin 80-plus games a year. So I think Vegas' dominance is going to continue into this year. I really don't see a change until 2019, 2020. That season.
So in closing to our NHL talk, Vegas people, don't get upset because they didn't win the Stanley Cup. Remember, this was their first year in the NHL.
Yeah.
Some teams go their whole fucking franchise history without even getting that far into the playoffs.
Very true.
We did it year one.
Yep. You better tell them about it. Shit.
And not only that, this team is set with salary cap space and draft picks for the upcoming season to get better players.
Yep.
To get more names on this team. Now that people see what Vegas hockey is about, we are now a destination where some of these stars want to be.
Yep. Vegas has everything. If anybody's ever been to Vegas, Vegas has everything from a living standpoint that you could possibly want, especially if you're a star. There's places with privacy, resort style living. It's not really super cold, but cold enough to where you won't feel bad if you're not in your cold city anymore.
The only thing Vegas doesn't have that a lot of these other cities has is a decent educational system.
But we're working on it because hell, with the taxes that are going to end up on these ticket sales and casinos and shit, that money comes right back into the educational system again. I mean, you got to remember, we got hit hard in 2008 when the housing market hit. So I mean, now that Vegas is a destination again, I really see within the next 3 or 4 years, Vegas and Nevada as a whole being back on top. Again, and being back to the way it was when we first moved there. But we shall see. We shall see. So
we're gonna move on real quick. We're gonna run through the Major League Baseball standings.
Yes,
I'll run through them real quick. All right.
Yes.
In the AL East, we got the Yankees at 46-21. The Red Sox at 49-24. That is they're back being the competitive division they once were again.
Yes. Finally, shit.
Tampa Bay and Toronto are 33-38, and Baltimore at 20-50. Wasn't Baltimore like World Series threat like 2 years ago? What the hell happened to that team?
Is Kyle Ripken still associated with that team? That tells you how long it's been since I paid attention to
the Orioles.
Yes.
Now we have the AL Central, where all the teams are almost under 500. Cleveland is 37-33, Detroit 36-37, Minnesota 31-37, the White Sox 24-46, and the Kansas City Royals, who were really good a few years ago, at 22-49. What the hell happened to the Royals?
Death. That's what happened to the fucking Kansas City Royals. Weren't they one of the other teams that started out well this year, like the Mets? I think I
haven't got to the Mets yet. Hold on. Now, in the AL West, we got the defending World Series champions Houston Astros at 48-25. The Mariners, the surprise of the MLB world right now, at 46-26. Did you freeze? Hello? James? Interesting.
Did we die?
Dude, you're frozen. You look like Draymond Green.
Sir? Apparently.
Dog, you straight up look like Draymond Green.
We really slowed. All right. Give me a second here. Let's drop down Phil. And then add him to do the broadcast. We're still here.
What did you do?
We froze up, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's funny because you look like Draymond Green on my end. You're like,
what the hell?
Can you hear me?
What the blue hell, man?
Hello?
Oh, don't tell me because of fucking ESPN. Hold on. Oh.
Still live.
I think we froze up. Are we back?
Can you hear me now?
Let me drop him down. Let's see what we can do. He froze up on me. God damn it. All right, hold on. Give me a second. And invite this nigga back into the thing. Give me a second here. There we go. 2, 1. Alrighty. Yay! We didn't die. Woo!
You look like Draymond Green on my end. You're like,
Yeah, I know. It looked like that on my end too. He said I'm on dial up. No, it's fucking Spectrum. How about, Bruno, you go to work, right? And then you go upstairs to the 3rd floor to Spectrum and tell them my fucking internet sucks in my house and they need to fucking fix it. How about that?
all right. So now let's get back to things. The AL West, we got Houston at 48-25, Seattle 46-26, the Angels at 38-34, the A's at 36-36, and the Rangers at 29-44.
Weren't the Rangers good 2 years ago? The American
League looks like a 2-team show.
Weren't the Rangers good 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my god, baseball is just—it's a game. It's a game of disappointment to me, unless you know.
So now we're going to move over to the National League.
Yes.
The NL West, we got Arizona at 39-32, the Dodgers at 37-33, the Giants at 35-37, Colorado at 34-37, San Diego at 34-40. When are the Padres ever going to be relevant again?
Weren't they relevant 3 years ago?
No.
4 years ago?
It's been about 7 or 8.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, bad baseball decisions.
Now, the NL Central, we got Milwaukee at 42-29, the Cubs at 40-28, St. Louis at 37-32, Pittsburgh at 35-36, and the Reds at 26-45. The Reds, too. What the fuck happened to that team?
I said, weren't they a playoff contender 2 years ago?
A couple years ago, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
And now we got the NL East. The Atlanta Braves at 42-29.
Oh, my dad would be proud. That's his squad.
The Washington Nationals, the team with probably the best lineup in baseball, at a measly 37-31. The Philadelphia Phillies at 37-32.
Yes.
Now, as Mr. Black talked about the New York Mets, who he said at the beginning of the season, when they started off at 10-1, that they were going to be this year's, I don't know what the fuck. They are now at 30-38, which means since they were 10-1, they've only won 20 games and they've lost 37.
Like Game of Thrones says, shame, shame.
And here's the even more shameful part. You ready for this one?
Yes.
The Miami Marlins, who sold off their whole team basically, only 2 games behind the Mets at 28-44.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why? What in the actual fuck?
We sold off everything, yet we're still trying to stay competitive.
Yep, everything. Motherfuckers, cuz.
But that's it for baseball right now.
So I know we had a lot of World Cup action, but I only really want to talk about one thing. One thing. Mexico beat fucking Germany. That's right. I said it. Fucking Mexico, who's had like the worst drought in the World Cup, has beaten Germany. I don't even know like what to say after that. Like there's no words. I just know that the Mexicans have invaded Germany since they won't let them into America, thanks to Donald Trump. They've now gone to Germany and raped their asses and pillaged them and robbed them because guess what? Germany is no longer winning the World Cup.
I don't know how much attention you actually pay to how the World Cup works, but they're playing in Russia and they play more than one match.
Well, that's it's not the point, sir. Mexico has beaten Germany. Yes, it's due to Trump. Yes, thank Donald Trump for the Mexicans beating Germany. Remember this, Phil. This is what Trump wanted. He wanted the Mexicans to stand on their own, and now they're over there taking over the World Cup.
You know what I think about the World Cup?
What do you think about the World Cup?
The nutritional facts on this Powerade are more interesting.
Well, I guess how come the U.S. never qualifies for the World Cup half the time?
No,
That's the question.
they were in it a couple years last time, but they just suck ass now. That's why.
Yeah. This is true. All right. Well, that's all I got for today. Anything else you want to add to today's fuckery, sir?
Yes, I want to tell everybody tomorrow morning it will be our Pick Up the Sticks, our video game talk, where we will be discussing Mr. Black shooting me in the chest yesterday.
Why I gotta bring up old shit? Oh,
we'll be discussing. I want you to make a list of what your top 10 games from E3 were, and I'll do the same.
Oh God, yes, in no particular order because I have a lot, and but I'll get my top 10, but in no particular order because I love gaming. So,
yes. And we also talk about how much more dirt can Sony throw on Microsoft.
Well, hey, I'm excited for the RPG, the Japanese RPG that finally Japan is embracing on that's exclusive to the Xbox, and we'll talk about that tomorrow too. Microsoft, I think they're on their way. They really have to make one more move. What are you talking about? Oh, I can't remember. I have it on my paper somewhere. I will talk about it.
I was going to say, talk about Nier Automata. It's been out for the PS4 for 2 years.
No, not that one. Not that one. There's one. It's going to be an Xbox exclusive JRPG, which is like the first ever, like since the original Xbox. So, but we'll talk about it. Also, like I think to myself, Xbox needs to make one more move in order to finally become competitive with PlayStation again, and it's really just one more maneuver, and that's it.
I think you're mistaken, my friend.
No, I'm not mistaken, sir.
No, you know why I say that?
Why?
Because I put Xbox exclusive JRPG, and the only thing that came up was the one for the 360.
I told you. I'll pull it up. Well, I'll have it ready for you tomorrow. I promise. It's not coming out until next year, but I'll have it ready for you.
But anyway, yeah, we'll both have a top 10 list from E3, what we're excited about.
Yes.
Today on Facebook Live, 2K will be announcing stuff for WWE 2K19, so we can talk about that.
Oh, and here's I got something else for you, sir. There's been conceding that we're not conceding. Well, E2K has feeling the heat from the NBA Live franchise. There's a lot of people that agree, like myself, that have agreed that NBA Live was visually a better game. They just have to work on the game mechanics, which if you've seen Live 19, that may actually be a thing. But we'll talk about that tomorrow as well.
You know what else we'll talk about tomorrow?
What?
Something that I don't know if you know is coming out in August, but I hope you do because I want you to get it. And you want to know what that is?
What is it, sir?
My closing statement. Fire Pro Wrestling World for the PS4.
Holy fucking shit.
Comes out August 28th.
Oh, God. Fat.
And it's only a $49 game, too, so.
Oh, shit. It's going to have New Japan niggas in that game?
Remember, with Fire Pro, they use all wrestlers in all walks of life just under different names.
Very true. Very true. Although New Japan is always likely to lend their licenses more so than the wrestling.
Oh, yeah, no, New Japan will definitely have their licensed guys in there, but you're going to have WWE wrestlers with their current movesets, just different names in the game.
I just want to relive Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho on a video game console. That's not in the WWE branded scenario. That's what I'm excited about, sir.
I can't wait for Wrestle Talk so we can talk for Infamous on Thursday. So we can talk about the 7-star or Wednesday, the 7-star Omega Okada 4 match.
Oh, yes. And we got to talk about how fucking incredible NXT's is, I mean, they always are, but when your world title match ends up being the least like match, and it was really good, that tells you exactly how good this NXT show was.
Well, that's because they opened up with probably one of the best tag team matches I've seen in a long time.
Yes. Yeah,
and then you had the two most charismatic guys on NXT wrestling each other.
Yep.
And then you close the show with the slaughter of Gargano Ciampa.
Yep.
But we'll get into that on Wednesday.
We'll get into that on Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the games. Wednesday, we talk about the wrestling.
Then Thursday, it is back, ladies and gentlemen. NFL talk, early edition.
Yes, and we're gonna do some breakdowns of how. Wait a minute, we got to do a breakdown of the draft because we haven't even talked about that. Like we did talk about it briefly. We're gonna talk about like free agency. We're gonna talk about a little bit about the Dez Bryant saga. This is gonna be a fun week for everybody, sir.
But anyway, with that being said, if you like what we do, like what we talk about, enjoy just talking to us, go ahead and like, subscribe, follow us both on Facebook. You can hit us both up, the Sinful Black Entertainment Facebook page. Go on YouTube, youtube.com/Drew Thompson, or just go ahead and search Sinful Black Entertainment, SYNFULBLAQ Entertainment, and you'll find us.
That's right, sir. But until then, until tomorrow at 8:30, ladies and gentlemen, we bid you adieu. And we out this bitch. Deuces.